We're rolling.
Welcome back to another Golf Decoded conversation. Scott Hassey, Lewis Kelly. We call him the Grandmaster over here of strategic golf ability. What's going on, Scott? How you doing, man?
Well, hey, I'm doing great. We've had a lot of conversations over this last tournament, and we are lots of wheels on the ground and running hard.
That's right.
So,
So today, we're talking about these two guys who battled it out, finishing first and second. We're talking about Cam Young, Matt Fitzpatrick, just going over their data and mainly of their par five stuff. And par fives is such a big deal in our game because that's where you feel like when you step up on a par five tee, you could take advantage. No matter how short or long you are, you feel like you could take advantage of this hole to kind of get your game or your score back in your favor, right?
yeah, yeah, and I hadn't thought about this till you were just talking about it. It's in our favor when you look at um, par threes in the USGA handicap index. They're usually like holes 15, 16, 17, and 18. Right,
Correct.
easiest holes because we think
Yep.
about the general public, it only takes them one shot to be up near the green and they're okay.
Right.
But a par 5 for the masses is actually, in a lot of cases, more difficult because it takes more shots to get up there. You're dealing with longer clubs off of the ground, which is less loft, all those variables that we know as competitive players that create it. So it's kind of funny. It's like par fives, you're supposed to score really low. Well, for the public, in some ways, they're actually harder. And a lot of
Yeah.
times you'll see them rated in like the top 6 to 8 hardest holes on the golf course,
Yeah.
which is funny to think. I hadn't thought about that until I'm like, that's funny because about what we're about to show y'all is really pretty fascinating. So,
So what we did, we went through Young's and Fitz's data, and we looked at attempts going for the green in two, and then their scoring average, right? What they actually scored throughout four rounds. So Cam was our first guy, obviously the winner, and it's shocking as we went through the data that he only went for five greens in two and was five under. Now
out
his
of 20 or out of 16, right?
right,
Yeah, out
and
of
his
16 attempts.
total score, his winning score is 13 under. So like let's just talk a little bit about that and dissect that how did the winner, and it sounds like a Zach Johnson type of deal,
Yeah.
which we on that when Zach Johnson won on a brutal Masters. It was so cold and windy, right? And he never went for a par five and two, and ended up beating Tiger. But for Cam to only go for five greens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shoot five
Yep.
under, 13 under for the tournament. Just talk a little bit about that, what you looked into the data, and then we'll get into it from there.
Yeah. So first things first, for those that are just listening in here, this is Golf Decoded, way different than the other systems that are out there. I
Yeah,
wrote the book back in 2021 after tracking more than 10,000 holes at the time. We're rapidly approaching 20,000 at this point, and I've spent the last several years using
excellent.
this and applying it to competitive players. So now I've come out of my shell a little bit here to really share it with everybody. So you can follow that on Substack, golfdecoded.substack.com. So go check that out. You can also go find me on social, S Hassey Golf, two S's, two E's. So with that being said, we look at the game totally different. Um, it's funny. Golf Decoded is really you against the golf course,
Yeah,
not you against other players. And we
yeah,
won't dive into strokes gained today, but like I've always kind of had a little bit of like it just feels like an odd stat to me. Like
yeah, yeah. Because if I
I'm
can
not
beat
playing
the
against them.
or if I can beat the golf course better than you, that means I win,
Right.
right? Like,
How many times we told people, oh, it's you against the golf course. I was like, yeah, but why are we comparing you to everybody else?
right,
The
right.
the example I thought of earlier today was like, to me, that's like, why would you measure, like, I'm getting ready to go play in a basketball game since we're March Madness, right?
Yeah,
If I'm getting ready to go play against, I don't know, I'm gonna play UNC.
right,
Why in the world am I worried about a team that's not even in the? It's like me looking at film of a team that I'm not even playing against.
right.
Like
I mean,
I'm
we're
watching
flipping
film of.
that rules, by the way.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that's so important. That's like mind blowing. You're absolutely right. What do I care that Scott is horrible against par fives? I don't care.
Like, and what does horrible mean?
Right.
it, it doesn't matter. Like, okay, well, his driving is this. Well, how is my driving relative to the golf course, not relative to my peers? They might all
Right.
be playing the golf course bad. They might all be playing it great, and I'm playing it bad. But their strokes gain looks a certain way versus another. It's a stat that doesn't measure the thing that actually lowers the scores.
Right.
And when you're dealing with when you're dealing with the idea of games, you think about game theory. You have
Hmm.
fundamentally two different types of games. You have what's called simultaneous games, and you have sequential games. So match play at times is a sequential game. Cornhole is a sequential game.
Yeah.
I toss a I toss a bag and then you toss a bag. So my
Right.
decision's directly tied to the decision that you make because it
Right.
affects my ability to score or not.
Right.
Um, and then golf is fundamentally a simultaneous game. We are both playing a game that we just move down these roads independently of one another. And
Right.
if you try to play a game that is the game that you're not actually in, this is where you get into all sorts of issues. And so we could take a player that let's just use putting examples because that's been popular over the last couple of years with Scotty and then Kepka recently and Hovland at times and some other players. Like you have these ebbs and flows. It's like, well, if we measure Kepka's strokes gained putting relative to everybody else, it looks bad. But if we measure his putting relative to golf decoded data, 3 data points, mind you, only 3. That's all you need. Really all you need. You really don't need anything else. Then his putting isn't as bad as we perceive it to be. And so then what you start doing is you start going and trying to fix a problem that maybe didn't exist in the first place, in which case you hide the real reason you struggled.
Right.
And maybe you have something that kind of makes it a little bit better for a period of time, but you don't actually deal with the actual underlying
Right.
problem.
Yep.
And so it will come back up again. And then now we're going to change. Now I'm going to go get a different putting coach. I'm going to get a different putter. I'm going to change putters from week to week instead of, wait a second, maybe there's something else going on behind the scenes. So if you're looking at a game, so that example is when you compare yourself to the rest of the field, you are trying to solve a problem that is what you're effectively saying is a sequential game instead of simultaneous. And golf is a simultaneous game, you and me playing side by side. Now, at moments, you're playing both a simultaneous game and a sequential game. Think
Yeah.
about the last couple holes as guys are coming down the stretch.
Right.
What is so and so doing? Oberg just dumped it in the water.
Right.
Okay, then I'm not going to go for either par five on the back nine
Right.
because we're already in a hazard. He's going to be recovering.
Yep.
And so it becomes in moments a sequential game. So if you understand the game that it is that you're actually playing, then we can play better. So that's my main issue with strokes gained is it measures what it's supposed to measure beautifully.
Right.
But that's not the game we're playing.
Right.
That's just
Well,
not the game we're
and
playing.
Decoded helps declutter all those emotions
Correct. And
instead of making hasty decisions on, like you said, coaches, equipment, right?
swing changes, whatever.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
And
So
so
looking at Cam stuff, he only went for 5 par 5s, the whole 4 rounds, guys, all 4 rounds.
right.
Who, by the way, if people aren't paying attention to golf, he hit a 375-yard driver
On
drive on it.
18.
So it's not like he's a short hitter by any
Yeah.
means. Right?
This isn't the Zach Johnson conversation who just doesn't hit it very far and he's playing at
Ex-
Augusta and he's gonna lean on his wedges.
Yeah, and wait till
Like,
we go everybody else's attempts and all that. But go ahead.
yeah. And so when we think about, oh, my par five scoring is bad, one of the dangers of isolating any type of hole from another is that you are ignoring the fact that we are creatures of habit. And if we played a golf course that was all par fives, that might be different than if we played a golf course that's all par fours or all
Right.
par threes. But we don't. We play holes that move in and out of each other. And the decisions that we make on one hole are indicators, or on certain types of holes, are indicators of similar types of decisions we make on other holes. And or they can affect, and we'll get into the specifics of this, the emotions that we feel and experience on other holes or on future designs. Um, and it may not just be this week, it may be the following week. Like, man, I missed it right on this golf course this week. I can't miss it right on that golf course on the next week. So you get these emotional plays because we are emotional creatures, right? We aren't just robots.
Right.
Okay, my average dispersion pattern is this. I need to aim here. This is what I've taught people for years. And
Right.
so, like, and it's good. It's good information. That's generally the idea. We're playing with our average shot. But when the wind's in a certain place and you're not going for a full swing, like all of a sudden, all those dispersion patterns change. Like, all right, you went in my 8 iron here. Well, I'm gonna hit flighted 8 iron. Well, sometimes my flighted 8 iron goes farther. Like,
Right.
or it does it tend to draw more when you flight, or does it tend to cut more when you flight it? Everybody's different, right?
100%.
So, what's my miss tend to be with that? Do I tend to thin it and then hit my misses longer more than it is short? Like, this with 3 data points allows me to get behind all of that, solve those problems that actually exist. And I'm not telling you how to hit these spots. It's 3 data points. I'm not telling you
Right.
how to hit them. I'm just telling you you got to be in these locations. So the 3 data points are this, and you have BPN, which stands for ball pin nearest edge. You have SA, which stands for side approach, and all these describe where your ball is.
Right.
Side approach, and then you have POA or POA, which stands for proximity on first attempt. So when we measure proximity, when Golf Decoded measures proximity, I'm not measuring just your physical ability as a player to hit the ball close to the hole. I'm measuring because it's proximity on first attempt. These 3 data points all get measured in that one singular moment.
Right.
So we've got your proximity on first attempt and your BPN are marked from that spot. So if I've got 180 yards in, I decide to go for the green. I hit it to 45 feet. That's proximity on first attempt. And if I missed the BPN, and we won't get into how those lines are drawn here, that's you can go find that on golfdecoded.substack.com. Um, if I missed the BPN, there'd be a 0, so I just missed it.
Yep.
Those are marked from there. Now, side approach is where I took that shot from,
Right.
on which side of the hole was I playing in. And the cool part about BPN and SA is I really don't care whether you're on the green or not. I don't care if you're in the fairway or not. This is where you're seeing like the hit it far, hit it far, hit it far. It doesn't matter whether you're in the fairway or not. There's
Yep.
some truth to that. There's some merit to that, and Golf Decoded proves that out.
As long as
Uh,
you, right.
right.
You
As
need
long as you can kind
right.
of control.
Need to be on the right side of an SA to be on a right side of a BPN.
Correct. Correct. So, and you can still hit it close from the incorrect locations, and you can still
100%.
make birdies and pars. But
But it
that's kind of what.
makes golf more stressful. Do-
Correct. Correct. So now we want to get into like, all right, so we were 5 under over all the par fives we played for Young,
Yep.
and we only went for 5 of them in two.
Yep.
Then we had, who else did
Then
we
we have
have? We had Fitzpatrick.
so he has 10 attempts
Okay.
going par fives into 2, and he's 10 under.
Okay. And then we had 2 other guys we pulled. We're up on the leaderboard. So we pulled the 2 guys that were leaders, and
Yep.
then 2 guys that shot over par that were
Yep.
in the top 10 going into the final round. We had
So
Oberg shot
so
4 over.
Oberg, yep. So he had 12 attempts and he's 11 under par because remember
Okay.
he hit water from the middle of the fairway on the final round.
Yep.
And Hovland, who had 12 attempts through 4 rounds, and he was 9 under par.
Correct. So we are, um, those guys played the par fives better than Cam
Most.
Young.
Yeah. Oh, well, definitely better than Cam Young for sure.
Right.
And yep.
So you go, well, Scott, like par fives, going for par fives and 2 is what you should do. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not saying here, don't go for par fives and 2. What I'm looking for, though, is that conversation as a larger whole in relationship to all the other shots. So, you won't you won't see this necessarily specifically on here. Um, well, we will. We'll find a way to get it up there. So maybe we'll put the two videos side by side.
Sure.
Um, but if we look at, let's see, we've got rounds 1 through 4 here with these
Yep.
guys. I've highlighted all the par fives. So when we're looking at these data sets, highlighting all the par fives, here's what we see. If we look at Oberg on missed BPNs, we want to stay inside of 30 feet.
Yep.
I tell people 25 feet just because there's an easier way. Uh, I have more specifics with that, but we'll go with 30 feet is usually fairly reasonable.
Yep.
We have a missed BPN with 61 feet, a missed BPN with 34 and a half, missed with 33 and a half. These are Oberg. Now he's made on those couple of holes, he's 3 under on those 3 holes.
Yep.
And then we've got missed BPN at 92 feet. And then we have a missed BPN at 123 feet. Made bogey on that one.
Yep.
So what are we looking at? And we go over here to Hovland, missed BPN 38 and a half, starting on the final round, missed BPN 42, missed BPN 90
Nice.
feet, missed BPN 42, missed BPN 48, missed BPN 64. So he's a little bit better than Oberg in that regard.
Yep.
And then we look at Fitz, where miss 56, miss 46, miss 46, miss 47. Not too bad.
Yep.
But then we come over here to Young. There's not very many misses. There's a miss, but it's only 20 feet. One miss,
One miss.
75 feet.
One
All
miss.
the others are well less than that.
So
Now,
what does it mean from a course management standpoint to where if you're young and you only miss one outside of 30 feet, what do you think that tells you as a coach, psychologically, and then also your score wise?
yeah, so twofold. If I'm looking at just par fives like this, um, it's usually telling me a guy didn't go for a lot of par fives at this level, right?
Sure.
He didn't go
Yep.
for a lot of par fives in two, and or when he did go for them in two, he went for them in two from either a place or with a club or with a specific shot relative to the scenarios in that moment where he knew he could place the ball in a favorable location,
Right.
right? He had more control in those moments. Now, let's go through these one step further. All right. So these are par fives. Okay. So if we don't go for it in two, so let's talk about when we measure things. So proximity on first attempt. So if I go
Yeah.
for a par five in two, typically that's going to be, at least on the tour, over 200 yards.
Yep.
Occasionally, if we bomb one or it's a short one, they're less than 200, but it's mostly more than 200 and oftentimes even more than that,
Correct.
215
Yeah.
plus. We all know that our proximity is going to be further from the hole, right? That's to be anticipated. I
Without a
like I'm not freaking out about 45 feet, 34 feet.
That'd be a great shot, by the way.
Yeah, that would be great. That'd be awesome,
Yeah.
right? Um, and I'm not even talking about what you made on the hole. So if we decide not to go for them, we're going to lay up to a certain distance, which is likely going to have a considerably lesser club, almost always less than 150 yards, unless we're having to kick out of really bad spots. We're typically going to almost always be able to get it inside of 150 yards.
Right.
So, and a lot of times, probably inside of 100. So, we are likely going to have really low proximity. So, when we look at the proximity totals, our proximity totals are fairly low.
Right.
So, if we go up to the top and look at proximity totals, 488, 426, 625, 448 for
Yep.
Young.
That's for young.
Mhm.
And what's your magic number to
I
be
love
a good
seeing sub
player?
650 on the tour.
Yeah.
If you're sub 700, we've gone for some par fives and two, but so that's okay. But sub 650 tells me you've got some control over those going for them in
Yeah.
two. The way we used to do it with Elijah and some of my mini tour guys, my target like the goal in your head is to be sub 600.
Right.
And so
And that
kind of as you're going through your rounds, like if you've got a par five that you're kind of like questionable about whether you're going to go for it in two, maybe it's location, um, maybe it's the distance that you have in whatever. There's something about it that's making you go, like,
yeah,
what's my proximity so far, right? If I'm
right,
already pretty high, I might just try and keep my proximity down here, feel like I'm in control of my round.
right.
So we go to Fitz and Hovland here. So Fitz is 739, 611, 752, 651. Like those aren't bad. We're averaging sub 700. We're really averaging like sub 675. That's
But
not bad.
compared to winner, we know that Young
Hmm.
data that we've collected is A, playing better, right?
He's
Because
placing
lower
the ball closer, right?
placing the ball closer and we figured out is in control of his emotions much better because it's less stress. Remember, Golf Decoded was built by the
Yeah.
master of chess, course management, to de-stress your golf rounds. This is why we're here. If you clicked on this video and you've listened up until this point, you should join this because we're trying to make golf less stressful.
Yeah. And that's really the name of the game.
Yeah.
If we
And we
bring stress
that
values down,
yeah, yeah, we
er,
can see it at POA and also their BPNs, which over 4 rounds, Young has hit 51 BPNs versus Fitz 40. So the BPN is designed in these blue zones. I've come up with that. I don't know if that's good or not, but I'm
that's
just
good. I love it. I love
um,
it.
is that just by looking at that data point is like Cam Young is less stressed, even
Right.
though that even though that's 11 BPNs between the two over 4 rounds. Now think of over a course of a season, Cam Young is going to win a lot more, or at least beat Fitzpatrick in every tournament if there's only two players in the field.
Right. And and it's funny because you look at it here and you're going, to give y'all some idea, like being 11 BPNs worse is like 4 shots.
Yeah,
Just on location of your golf ball, even if we make the proximity the same,
yeah,
like here,
yeah,
watch this. I'll do this real quick. So, in the bottom center here, you're going to see these are after 2 rounds, if we projected 4, he should have shot 14.
yeah,
After 3 rounds, if we projected 4, he should have shot 13.
yeah,
And after 4 rounds, what should have he shot after 4 rounds? It would have been 13.5. He shot 13. Great
right,
job. Right.
yeah,
Um, that's like 1 par 5 I didn't make a birdie.
right,
Right? Like
right,
that's really it.
yeah,
So if we look at that, now what I'm gonna do, and then we go over here to Fitz. Fitz golfed his ball phenomenally on uh around the greens and on par fives.
yes.
Right. He got himself up and down from some awesome places,
And
even when his
and we know
proximity was high.
why. We know that why because his short game was so phenomenal
Right. The short game was great.
based off of our data. Yeah,
Yeah, other than a couple of like really close tight ones, which they all do. Now,
right,
sometimes those guys hit a bunch of them close in one round and they don't in the next. Sometimes they're spread out over 4 rounds. Doesn't really matter. Um, they're all going to hit a couple in there pretty tight if you're going to win a tournament. Like you're going to have
right,
to throw a couple darts, but not very
100%.
many. We're not talking like you got to throw 9 darts in there. You got to throw 2 to 5.
Right,
Like that's one around, like maybe. So throwing darts aside, just by where we place the golf ball, we'll take the proximity the same and we'll move it over here to Cameron. I'm just going to copy paste here.
yeah.
Not paste away. Oh, yeah, hang on. Sorry.
Very
I'm
good.
going to get it. Here we go. We're going to copy it and then we're going to paste it over here. Why is it not pasting? Come here.
And
Control
guys, I
C.
know like Golf Decoded has opened my eyes being a competitive
Here, we'll do it
golfer
this way.
to where this game is much easier than we make it seem, even with traditional golf knowledge, right?
Right.
And yes, we want to hit it closer to the green. I mean, close to the flag every time. We want to hit it always in the fairway every time. I'm
Hmm.
not saying that those traditional ideologies aren't good in golf decoded. What we're saying is to be a grandmaster of chess at this golf game, you need to know how to attack and control your ball, not to hit it to 5 feet every time, to where to miss it. I think that the main thing that we're saying
Yeah.
is you just need to miss it in the right spot. We're not trying to say, hey, you should
Hmm.
only hit draws. Hey, you should only hit fades. Hey, you should
You
never go
should.
for par fives and two. We are not saying that at all. We're
Right.
saying that controlling your golf ball and missing it in the correct spots is going to lower your scores, not to get more lessons, not to feel like you need to hit, like I said, the 5 feet every time, not to say that you need to make 15 footers all the time from a missed
Right.
BPM.
Well, it's funny. The gentleman I learned from was like a massive Hogan fan. Now he taught for over 50 years, and you're going to hear a lot of Hogan from a lot of guys in that age bracket and that generation, right?
Yep. Yep.
And one of Hogan's quotes that Hank would say all the time was, "He who misses best wins.
Yeah.
He who
Totally.
plays his misses best." And so this is basically what we actually can measure how you control your misses.
Right.
And, you're gonna miss greens, you're gonna miss fairways, you might as well control where you miss them
Yep.
and when you miss them, and you're going to. So, just by that one variable, so we gave him the exact same proximity on first attempt.
Yep.
Cameron Young is still more than 3 shots
Better.
better,
Yep.
and that was with a difference of almost 1,000 feet of proximity,
Yeah. A,
and we're
thou-
still 3 shots ahead.
1,000 feet. Do you know how long that is?
That's so far.
That's insane. Over a golf tournament? I mean,
Right,
guys have lost their cards over one missed 3 footer.
right. And so
And
and
like
again,
middle of the season. We're not talking about like at the end of an event.
right, we're we're looking at this, though, not from just how good can you hit the golf ball. This is how good can you manage
Right.
the placement of the golf ball relative to key slopes and features of the green, and knowing which angles to play into from. Basically, have to avoid hazards, have a good short game, and just avoid and like learn how to miss the ball in the appropriate places. And so we can really dive deep into each player, which we're not going to do here, but like
Yeah.
it's pretty simple. Yeah, everybody goes, well, he had so much closer on his proximity on first attempt. Yeah, but that's also skewed by the fact that he went for like 7 less par fives and 2.
Right. And
So
just
even if
remember,
I give him the same one, we're still ahead by 3.
yeah. And I think you said a great earlier in the day today. It's basically like, okay, if you and this 30 benchmark we're talking about when you
Mhm.
miss a BPN, normally with golf architecture and agronomy, right? Greens are going to sit high, and because of rain, and we don't want to kill any grass, we want to slope them away, right?
Right,
So
you
you
have to move water off the greens.
no golf courses, and you might find this on one hole. So I know someone's gonna be like, "Hey, this hole in Australia, um, you know, all the holes aren't." You're not going to miss the green, and it's going to funnel to the green. I mean, that's not what golf is. It's
No.
repel way. So if you're going to miss by 30 feet, you're eventually going to miss by 45 feet.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, yeah, we talk about is, like, when guys miss BPNs, typically, if they miss them by more than 30 feet, you don't see a lot of balls finished between 30 and 45 or really sometimes even 30 and 50.
Right.
And
Right.
what does that really tell us? Well, that tells us if you think about that, like 30 feet, if we think about a traditional green, let's say we've missed it on the short-sided side,
Yeah.
if you will. So we're going to use traditional golf lingo, not golf decoded.
Yeah.
If we miss it short-sided by more than 30 feet, if we think about that, there's usually more slopes there, whether that
Correct.
be green slopes, whether that be
All,
just
yeah.
contours,
Yep.
right, of the ground. You've got bunkers slope away from you. Um, that's what you're really truly looking at is like, so why does the ball go to 45 feet?
Right.
Missing it short sighted in the traditional sense, more than 30 feet, is a problem because it doesn't move it. It's not because you're finishing at 32 feet.
Right.
It's because you're going to finish more than 45, sometimes even more than that. And when you hit BPNs, I actually had a mini tour guy out of Texas pick up my Golf Decoded book a year ago. And he's like, I've been doing it, I've been tracking the data. Like, I just don't know why I still shoot like 68, 78, 67, 74. Like I can't repeat them in competition. And I said, "All right, here's what I want you to do in your next couple of rounds. All I want you to do is try to hit 18 BPNs, which by the way is not easy to do. Even
No.
though the target's really big, it's
Right.
massive. Like you
Right.
get it anywhere on the side of this line. Some of them
Yep.
get kind of tiny and narrow. I
Yep.
said, I want you to care nothing about proximity whatsoever. All I want you to do is try to hit 18 BPNs. Well, his BPN value when we started was very similar to what we're seeing here with Fitzpatrick,
Yep.
very similar to what we're seeing here with Hovland. He was at, Hovland, 7, 12, 9, 7. Like, I'm
Yep.
sorry. I don't care if you're playing good golf. Like, he fell almost all the way back to his number. He finished 6 under in the tournament, shot 2 over in the final round. I had him finishing at basically 4 to 5 under par. He
Right.
basically gave all those shots back
Yep.
in the final round. And you can't sustain that. And he tried to hit BPNs and his proximity plummeted. It's like, wait a second. How is playing into those zones making my proximity get tighter? Because missing those zones makes it go farther away.
Correct. And that's
Hitting
what.
those zones sometimes makes it go farther away, but not to the same degree that is. And sometimes it makes it come back to you.
So if we go back to Cam Young versus Fitzpatrick here, those
Hmm.
11 BPNs is 1,000 plus apart in proximity. So there you go, right there.
That's
Because
even worse. You've
because
missed
when
and you're far away.
right, because when Fitzpatrick this week at the Players missed the BPN, it was caroming away from the flagstick to where Cam's shots were caroming towards the flagstick based off the slopes. Just remember, guys, BPNs are designed that if you get it inside the BPN, usually they get closer to the hole.
Yeah.
That's why we've made this. That's
Yeah.
why Scott. And
Yeah.
when you it, the formula is going away from the hole. That's why we want to avoid missing VPNs. Oh,
Correct.
avoid missing the zone,
Yep.
which is
And
absolutely phenomenal. So
and
how
so then
does
the
that
go ahead.
so when Fitzpatrick misses those BPNs on par fives,
Hmm.
how do you think that makes him feel when he gets more than 30 feet away? And it's not remember, it's just we're just talking about par fives here, but it's not just par fives, it's every hole.
Well, that's what I was going to bring up, right? Is it's not about the par fives because the argument's going to be made. Well, Scott, those three guys played the par fives way better than Cam did, so your point's null and void. However, it's not because we aren't measuring proximity. We are measuring proximity on first attempt. We are measuring intent, and when you measure intent, you measure strategic ability. And
Yeah,
so, what we're measuring is how do those decisions how are those they're showing up on par fives, but they're also showing up on par fours. And so those whoops, almost lost us on the camera there. Those par fours were also missing BPNs.
yeah,
And sometimes we're close, sometimes we're far away. We've seen the patterns I was explaining to you in the last video of like we'll hit it close, close. We'll hit it close, 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 but wrong side, wrong side, wrong side, wrong side. Then
yep,
all of a sudden, our proximity will spike after that when we get back into safe spots again. And
yep,
these things are going on underneath the scenes. Like we've all had the experience where you feel like "Ah, I just feel like I'm just kind of edgy and on edge, or it feels like my round's about to fall apart. Like your brain is incredibly powerful and it's trying to tell us something. And so when you get into Golf Decoded, you actually start going, what is the essence of scoring? The essence of scoring is proximity when you make your attempt at the green,
mhm,
where you place the golf ball, and what angle you played in from in order to place said golf ball.
Right.
in those locations. And then you have to factor in, rough, lie, all of those things get factored in. But being in the rough isn't at the core of what makes golf hard.
Right.
Or being in the fairway isn't at the core of what makes it easy. Being on a flat lie isn't at the core of what makes golf easy. Being in a fairway bunker isn't at the core of what makes golf hard. Missing a green isn't fundamentally at the core of what makes golf hard. And so what's at the core is moving across and over certain slopes and features. And the closer they are to the flag, the harder they are to navigate, both on approach shots and on short game shots from on the green or off the green.
Yep.
And you really just got to get the tee ball to avoid penalties, including punching out, right? Try to avoid penalties, and farther's better if you can avoid the penalties because we have a shorter club in,
Right.
which generally makes it easier to both control, like, not just
Spin.
proximity, but it also can make it easier to hit VPNs because we
100.
have a shorter club in. So farther's better. So I fit that narrative a little bit. But I want to know how you're playing those par fives is affecting your decisions elsewhere. And that is the component that we're looking at because we're measuring your strategic ability and we're looking at the trends of your rounds. So we should go look at the charts that are down at the bottom here.
Yeah.
So I just did rounds 3 and 4 for these 4 players.
Yep.
So we just look at round 3, look at Oberg, kind of a flat start,
Yep.
right? Every time you miss a BPN, that line's gonna flatten or go up most of the
Okay.
time. It's not gonna move much. So you can pretty much tell we're missing BPNs early. You're missing them a little bit here in the late middle of the round, and then we just flatline for Oberg. So I've got it pulled up here, third round.
Yep.
Oberg's 1.26, 0.33, 0.26, 0.33, 0.39, 1.45, 0.39. Like we've just flatlined. We're
And I
hitting
just
it close.
and I
Go
want to
ahead.
make this a great point for college coaches. If you're listening to this and you have golf decoded for your team, you can see the psychologic um, into a player when you're just looking at your scores and you really don't know how to help them. Because I think when you trying to help a team and you're trying to get the best results out of your team, it's not only just golf ability; it's the mental as well. And
Yep.
golf decoded can help you with that mental game without a performance coach around, right?
Yep.
How we have our data constructed is that these charts can see a player's intent, right? Your
Correct.
strategic ability and your intent, and where you are when you make a mistake, when you miss a green or miss a BPN,
Hmm.
what that does to your score, not only for your decision making on that hole, but going forward. So go ahead, Scott.
It,
Sorry.
it was funny. It's funny when we got on the call when you were caddying at the Waste Management after the first round. I said, you emotionally lost it. I can't remember what hole it was. Like this hole, you're like, yeah, how'd you know that? I said, well, this chart's telling me everything I need to know. Like I can see the chart kind of spike and then just kind of fluctuate like that. And so if we scroll down to Oberg final round, we start the round out pretty good. Like we're
Yeah,
dropping
yeah,
some little bit up and down, but not a ton. And then we flatline here. So we're showcasing the same flatlining in the middle of the round. So this is if I see patterns of this, I do it again. It's typically a guy that's playing pretty good to start, but then it's like, ooh, so now we're actually dealing with the nerves. So this is somewhat nerves, not just strategic ability. So this is how well are we managing the nerves. So but if you know golf decoded, you can manage those nerves because you know exactly where you're at all the time.
and how do we get us back on track? Scott, say it.
Right. Hit the BPN,
Hit
please.
the blue zones. Okay, I just made a bogey. I just want to play safe. No, you just hit the blue zone. You hit the
Not trying to
S.
play safe.
You hit the SA. Doesn't have to be in the fairway, and
Right.
you hit the blue zone to get your score and your psychologic mind. I don't even know if I said that right, but everybody knows what I mean. Get your mental back on track by hitting the blue zone.
Yeah. And if you're sole understanding of golf is I've got to hit the fairways to play good, then you're not spending the time working on how to play out of the rough. You're not spending time on how to hit out of a fairway bunker because you're going to hit it in them. Architects are going to put them in the way.
Yeah.
And if you just decide, well, I'm just going to lay so far back, well, this is where all these other everybody's saying this, like, well, laying farther back and hitting it in the rough, you might as well have gone ahead and pumped driver down there another 35 yards
Yeah.
and be in the rough anyway,
Yeah.
because it's not. And so we have, if we look at it historically, I mentioned this yesterday, like I'm trying to get people off the driving range. I'm trying, including instructors and coaches,
Yeah.
get off of the driving range and get off of these awesome indoor simulators. We use it all the time. I'm gonna be in there all day tomorrow for 12 straight hours of lessons and no breaks. Like
Yeah.
that's what I'm gonna do. Like
Yeah. Right.
because it's cold and that's what I have. It's the best
Right.
resource I have.
Right. Right.
And so, but if we don't get them on the golf course, they've got to learn how to play out of the rough. We got to be able to do these different things. I was in a playing lesson with one of my college players August last year, and we got paired. We're at a public facility, so it's me and a college player, and we're paired with two others. And this guy struggling, I don't know, he's 18 handicap. He's just struggling, and we turn around in the front nine. He's hit a poor tee shot. It's playable. Like you and I would just grab a 7-iron and like run it onto the front of the green or right next to the green, wouldn't be a big deal. But he's over there like side hill lie, downhill, and he just hits a dribbler, right? He just doesn't know how to hit the shot, right? If
Right.
I could teach him in a moment, but I'm not going to teach him because he's not paying me. And I'm in a
Right.
lesson with a college player. Like that's where my
Right.
focus is.
Right.
And he says, like, gosh, it's just so inconsistent. I said, yeah, this golf course thing ain't anything like that driving range, is it?
Yeah. You don't have that lie on the driving range.
Yeah, no. And
Yeah.
and yeah, you don't get to try again. You got to
Right.
go
Right.
find it and then hit it from there.
Right.
So you got to deal with the emotions of it. You don't get to
Right.
just like, give me another one and rake it in and hit it. Like you
Right.
don't.
Right.
There's no another ball detox to hit. Like nope, you just move on. So by
100%.
getting out there, we get to learn how to manage these things. Now, in that final round of Oberg as well, what we can see here, this last little point, is all of a sudden after we peter out, then we go for a par 5 and 2, hit it to 41 yards,
Yeah.
123 feet.
Yeah.
That's the big spike right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the spike was already starting up, up. Okay, we got it back. Up, up, got it back, and then up, 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 up.
Right.
At that point, we know we're behind, especially after we make the bogey there. Then we really don't do anything that much worse, but we do miss a BPN again and a penalty and a missed SA. Like bang, 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 can't do that. That shows up, boom, we're out.
Yeah.
And but we saw that same pattern over here on 16 the day before with that little spike there at the end. So we're
Yep.
seeing these patterns, these are patterns of behavior, not of
Right.
mindset. Like confidence is fixed. Uh, Robbie would get me for that, for saying the word fixed. One of the other coaches I work with, uh, he confidence is built through action, not through more time sitting in there and thinking through your mind. Like confidence is built through action. This is where the things like breathing techniques, that's
Mhm.
action. Changing your pre-shot routine is action. Hitting a different shot, even under stress and pressure. Maybe it's not your favorite shot, but it
Right.
regains control.
Right.
Like it puts you back in the driver's seat. That's how confidence is built, by change, by movement, by action. So at that point, then what we're going to see here, we're going to see the further climb. This is him just trying to get his lead back. I'm going to try and hit it as close as I can within reason. And
100%.
that's what we're going to see there, as opposed to the day before we dropped at the end. So that little climb at the end, I've seen in hundreds of these, thousands of these charts. Like that's
And
that's what we're looking for.
what does our chart want to look like if we were in control, Scott?
Well, Hovland's is a little choppy final round there. Hovland round threes looks pretty good.
Yeah.
We kind of peter out here at the end, going for a par 5 and 2 in our POA spikes, and we missed the BPN. We did the
Yeah.
same thing on 15. Our POA was up, and we missed a BPN. Don't like closing rounds that way. Miss a BPN on 18. So, like, Not a great yeah, we finished here's how we finish, gosh. Round 4, we did not finish well for Hovland at all.
Nope.
Miss, miss,
But
miss, miss, hit, miss, miss, miss.
yep. And that's
Like,
12 18 guys. He only hits from 12 through 18, he only hits one BPN, one blue zone.
but he hits it pretty close, but look at the round, flat.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
So, um, Fitzpatrick finishes well at the very end mathematically, but he had flatlined early.
Right.
So, we're just kinda we're hit one, miss one, hit one, miss one, hit one, miss one, hit one, miss one, like, not totally in control of the golf ball or understanding like, some of these guys just don't even know the nuances that are golf decoded. Like, they know to play away from hazards, they know to play towards the middle of the green, away from
Right.
the edges of the green. They know all these things. But
Right.
there's a nuance to those slopes on the green, and there's a nuance to how those lines are drawn, even if it's just the edge of the green. That's our defining moment. So there's a nuance that they don't know that I see.
Right.
And um it's it's totally different. So, Fitzpatrick didn't start well in round 3, but then you like seeing that round thereafter, just kind of a general trend. What we really like to see is and you'll notice that these are all kinda choppy, right? All these players,
Yep.
they're kinda jagged.
Yep.
We like smooth rounds, and hitting lots of BPNs creates smooth downward trending lines,
Yep.
even if your proximity is high. Like, what you're gonna see here is this is a high proximity on round 3. Looks like probably 14. Yeah, hole 14,
Yep.
61 feet. But because we hit the BPN, the line's still smooth and flat, right?
Right.
We don't see these jagged spikes.
Right.
Um, round 4, just he was trending the entire round, but he wasn't just trending that round, he was trending the hole all
Sure.
4 days.
Sure. Yeah.
We're just a gentle, smooth line down. We come over to Fitzpatrick, dude, we're choppy. Round 1, choppy. Round 2, choppy. Finished round 2 well, and then da 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 round 3. Finished round 3 well, and then just kind of flat to start round 4 and then down. So,
Yeah.
and then Hovland, choppy and flat early, then a downward trend, but some choppy in the middle,
And then flat.
and then just flat there. Kind of choppy at the end of round 3 and start around 4, trended down and then flatlined. And then even for Oberg, though, you're going to see these little spikes in there, and they tend to happen at the same moment in the round.
Yep.
So it's almost perfectly in rhythm. These are the par fives going 4 and 2 at the end. But even in there, you see some choppiness. Like you just look at Oberg compared to Young, you don't
Yeah.
see the same spikes, right?
Yeah.
And if you're
And
going to win golf tournaments, your charts need to look like this. And
young.
again, you don't have to hit it that close.
Yep. Totally.
So
Totally.
that's the essence of it. There's a lot more to be said about realizing these charts, and you don't have to understand them at this level. I'm not asking for people to understand them at this level, but
Right.
the solution is if we're going to go for par fives and 2, even if we hit them in these far away places and we make birdies on them, right? We're 9 under, we're 11 under, we're 10 under on the par fives that we went for in 2. We need to be mindful about how that's affecting the decisions on future holes and past holes,
Yep.
especially on a golf course like a Pete Dye, where you've got to long shots in on par fives can affect how you're feeling and sensing about tee shots and other types of tee shots from
Uh,
driver otherwise.
yeah.
And so because they're far away, they're not hurting you on the par 5 because you're potentially gaining a shot by hitting it substantially closer. Whether you make eagle or not, you're almost guaranteeing yourself birdie.
Right.
But what we've got to look at more deeply is that is a sign of other behaviors. And if we can't control those, what are we doing? Or if we're gonna miss the BPN, so let's take a chart of we'll do this little final thing here. So if we take Fitzpatrick, right? Because
Yep.
he went for a lot of par fives and 2. If we take all those par fives and 2 that he missed a BPN, that's over 30 feet.
Yep.
And we slap a hit BPN on all of those. So we just miss it on the other side the same distance.
Yep.
aside from the fact that we're gonna be, more than a shot lower.
Yeah, right.
Look at the smoothness in the chart. Look how
Yeah,
smooth they are.
it's totally
And
changed.
other than this one spike here, look how much smoother that is. Like, if I just hit undo, 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 jagged and flat versus smooth and downward.
Right,
And
right,
so and that's without hitting it any closer, right? Shoot, I could add 20 feet to them.
right.
Like, if we go back in there, let's say we're, definitely making sure we hit those spots. Let's just add 20 feet. We'll go to 75 feet. We'll go to 66 feet, 66 feet,
67.
67 feet. Our charts are still smooth,
Yeah,
still downward trend. We've this flat, but it's smooth. Like, we're still, like, even being that much further away, we're still a shot better.
yeah. And I want people to understand is that golf decoded, we are measuring you against the course, not against your peers. And
Yeah.
that's strategic ability and intent that no other, and I hate to use the word system, but everybody's using system nowadays, but golf decoded is far superior than anything else right now.
Yeah.
Anything.
And it's simpler. It's
Right.
I know we're making it sound kinda complex by pulling back the data,
Right.
but essentially, it's not just about par fives. Um, and if it were just about par fives, then all 3 of those guys would've would've won.
Right.
They
Right.
wouldn't like, Cam Young wouldn't have even been close.
Wouldn't even been close.
Like, not even a contest. I mean, they were double him on par fives. If they just close to match him on the par fours and par threes, he's getting the brakes beat off of him. Like, they're 5 shots ahead, 4 at the minimum. So,
Yep.
he's outside the top 10 in that conversation. So, it's about how that round feels. And if you're even though, hey, I'm not going for par fives, not feeling good about that. I'm leaving myself a whole bunch of less than 20-foot shots from good spots on the green that are favorable to putt from. That feeling and sense of control is fantastic. And we haven't been able to measure the mental game. I, I can measure it. I can see it. And I can control it instead of, yeah, I got to keep working on my mental game. If you keep putting yourself in stressful situations, you're going to continue to feel stressed and you can't override that. Your brain is trying to make you aware of, hey, there's
Right.
something going on here. Just
That's
like,
come in and things of that nature.
yeah, I mean, of course, an 18 handicap or even a 10 handicap. Shoot, give a 5 handicap, stand them on 17 at TPC Sawgrass. Why are they going to be nervous? A, they haven't prepared for that scenario.
Yeah.
They've never been in the scenario. They probably don't have as much control over their distance control as they perceive themselves to be. Strategically wise, they still really don't know how to play. They've just gotten their skills good enough to be a 5. Like, I've been able to take 5s down to 1s with this without doing any technique. Like, that's a big drop for those that are in the golf space.
Yeah.
So, and I've been able to take college kids with 76, 77 scoring averages and drop them sub 73 in 1 semester. It's like 4
That's
events,
that's wild.
5
That's
events. And so that's that's because we are creatures of habit. And if we fix the strategy side and we fix the technique side, they've got the technique, but like they're nervous because they don't have the skill. You can
right.
sit there with all the mental practice you want in the world. Your your shot dispersion has enough shots that are going to finish in unfavorable spots. And if you do anything to even try to get remotely close on a hole like 17, even if you're not firing at the pin, those nerves are going to climb
Yep.
and the pressure is going to climb, but they're also afraid of hitting it far away as well because their short game's not good enough. And
Yeah.
so there's the trap, right? And that's where players start to get better and then they get stuck. In the college programs, I've done this with the players that go like, "See, Scott, I still couldn't score low even though I hit, 14 VPNs and I hit it to 55, 60 feet. It's like, okay, fine. You don't know how to putt. You don't know how to chip.
Right. Right.
Like,
Right.
I know it's a strong statement to say to a college player who's got a scoring average that's sub 80 or even around 75 or lower. It's like, why can't I go 68, 68, 70, 68?
Right.
Because your short game's not good enough and you're on the wrong side too much. And then you're trying to pull off shots from the wrong side. You don't recognize you're on the wrong side. And so you think it's just fine. You can't believe you didn't get that little, that's just a little 20-foot chip. I just get up and down. I was so dumb. Right? That was so stupid. No, it wasn't stupid. What was stupid was you didn't recognize the situation you were in. And Golf Decoded allows us to see very precisely where we're at. And it's mathematically proven. It's 3 data points and they each have a specific value.
Yeah.
And if you're not playing the Golf Decoded way, it doesn't matter. You can play whatever way you want. I'm not telling you how to get there. I'm just telling you this is what is going to happen to you, whether you want to or not.
Right. Right.
And you can try to short game the thing to death like Fitzpatrick did. Awesome job, by the way.
Yep.
Phenomenal
Hit
tournament,
the road.
fantastic tournament.
Yep.
Yeah, he bogeyed the last, but like he played that last hole pretty dang well after being in trouble off the tee, pitched it out into a spot, hit the pitch up to 8.5 feet into the BPN, just didn't make the putt. So it was for par. So, I mean, he's just as close to basically, I mean, at 8.5 feet, they're basically 50-50. So he's just as close to being in a playoff as he is to missing it.
Right.
And that's a testament to his short game. And even from how far away he was in some of the nasty spots he was in and missing par fives, like, I mean, my favorite one was the start of, was that Fitzpatrick? He was like 108, the start of one of the round. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Start of round three, hole two, 150 feet,
150.
50
Made,
yards straight left of the hole.
made
Like,
made birdie. Yeah.
made birdie, hit it up to nothing, too.
Yeah.
Like, that's that's a testament to how good those guys are across the board. Hovland beat his number by one, and then Oberg, with him pressing there at the end, brought his whole, like, his last 9 holes is what took him from potentially being 11 under. Look at that. From being 11 under par, that's what I was projecting. So I projected him to drop basically a shot or two,
Right.
right?
Right.
So, um, and after 3 rounds projected to 4, he should have been 10.97, which is 11.
Right.
In that last 9 holes, so we go, where did he lose his shots? He was in the last 9 holes, but we're also in a habit of having BPNs that are too low. And
Right.
if you want to win golf tournaments, you need your BPNs. Like Fitz actually had better BPNs, 9, 11, 11, 9, and his POA was okay. 13, 12, 13, 13. That is great control of your golf ball, regardless of whether your proximity is sub 500 or
Right.
sub 600 or sub 650. That is placing your ball in very favorable positions, and the game feels a whole lot different than you can see it. We see it in the outcome of Fitzpatrick: birdie, bogey, birdie, bogey, birdie, bogey. If you're good enough to make that many birdies, you're good enough to place the ball in more favorable spots if you know what they are. So
Yeah, man. Well,
we're
that
now we're in.
if you stuck around this long, how could you not be persuaded to read all the Substack and get in the game here to change your golf life forever and to make it less stressful? I mean, like I said before, we are measuring you against the golf course and not against your peers, not against the
Yeah,
PGA Tour players, not against anybody, your buddies. It's your strategic ability and your intent, which no golf system or golf anything you want to
mhm.
call it is out there right now. So we're going to leave the link below to the Substack. Keep following us. We're going to have an educational portal where you can understand this ins and outs. We can come
By
to your golf.
Masters Week,
We can come to your golf team. We can come to your school. We can come to your country club. Whatever you want, wherever you want us to come, we'll come and we'll explain you the system and we'll make golf better for you.
it is the simplest, most fun way to play the game. and I'm telling you, you will never see it the same way ever again. You can't. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And, you
And that's
know,
why I posted today about taking the red pill and seeing in color for the first time. So,
yeah, it's, I'll say this last little piece. You mentioned, you against the other players versus you against the golf course. I'll have to show you. It was a tournament back in late 2021. I think it was the PGA Championship. Mickelson and Koepka were like neck and neck with Schauffele, I think.
okay.
Maybe. I'm trying to remember who won that event. I have to go back and look at the data specifically. But they were ahead of the guy who won mathematically after 3 rounds by 4 shots. And you see them pressing early in the round, the shots
Yeah.
and they're trying to pull off and where with this continual press. I'm going, I don't care that they're ahead. Oh, Mickelson won. That's right. Mickelson won. He shot
Is that Kiowa?
yeah.
Yeah.
It was Schauffele and Koepka that were ahead. They were ahead of Mickelson by 4 shots.
Wow.
They literally just had to keep playing golf the same way they were playing,
Wow.
and it was almost impossible for him to win. Like, and instead we make some little slip ups here and there
Sure.
because,
Sure.
like, you just wait. He's just gonna come right back to the data. I think he was at 8 under and he finished at 6. Like, he just came right back to where you guys were literally 4 shots ahead. I mean, it's looking at Young versus Fitzpatrick. Like,
Right. Right.
I've got a 7-shot advantage on this guy. I'm just gonna keep sitting here, and just gonna not go for par fives.
Yeah.
And 2, in
Yeah.
part because he wasn't in position off the tee to do so. That's a part of it.
Totally
But,
fair.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and probably one of the longest hitters out there, and he's not
Totally.
going for par fives and 2. So, it's neat to see a not going for par fives and 2 win
Yep.
because there's more to the game than just going for par fives.
Yep.
And conversely, great job for the other guys on how they took advantage of the par fives. It's awesome. But there's another game underneath. And if you learn how to play that game, if you win that game, you win the other games.
Right.
Like,
Right.
you're the one standing with the trophy at the end,
Right.
not hanging your head at, man, I just gave it all away again. There I
Yeah.
went again. So anywho, thanks for
All right.
listening. I appreciate y'all. You will be hearing more from Lewis. Gonna get out there and play with his golf decoded stuff in the next week or so and
Yep.
um, let people see it played out. So get rid of all the other stuff. Only golf decoded coming soon.
3 data points. See you, brother.
All right. See you,
All
man.
right. Have a good one.